This is Bruno Aloha Escalante. You're watching PhilippineNews.com. Alright.
So my name is Derrick Easterling. I'm from San Pablo, California, and I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. I was in a group home back in when I was like 16, 17. I was in a drug rehab group home program in Santa Rosa, and I was on the verge of I was at that end point where I was completing the program, and then I'm about to go home. And then so in my mind I was like, I need some kind of discipline in my life to help me, one, stay sober, but keep me out of trouble, and then just help me change my life and keep this sobriety up and all that stuff. And then by the grace of God, I guess just putting that energy out there, one of the team leads or staff members that worked at the group home, he trained jiu-jitsu, did kickboxing over in Santa Rosa with Dave Terrell. And then so he came in, it was his first day on the job. He was new, and then he had on his Gracie jiu-jitsu track jacket. And I looked and I was like, man, that's that jiu-jitsu stuff you do, right? Like that UFC stuff, like typical ignorant MMA fan, or not even a fan then, just an ignorant person about the sport. And he was like, yeah, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu. I also do boxing, kickboxing. I do wrestling. So he just dropped a whole bunch of knowledge for the remaining time that I was there. And then I told him, I was like, man, you think there's gyms out in my area that where I could train and work out at, because I felt that I could keep me busy. It'll have the discipline to where I'll be out of trouble. And two, before I started doing martial arts, I used to play football. And then there's that point where I didn't get to play my varsity year of football due to grades and just running around in the streets, getting in trouble. So then I figured, hey, I could do jiu-jitsu and train every day and not have to worry about my grades, and not have to worry about academic probation or, having a GPA, because I could train and then fight, train or compete, So then I told my mom, I was like, hey mom, I want to do this thing called jiu-jitsu, if you can you look for it for me? And then by chance she was like, oh yeah, I saw a sign said jiu-jitsu by the freeway at the house. And then I was like, what? So then on my visit, my last home visit from home, my mom took me there. It was at the time it was called Open Door Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Sergio Silva. And then I went there, checked it out. I saw my first jiu-jitsu instructor, Sergio, introduced myself, and I told him, I was like, look, I'm in a group home. I'm gonna get released on September. I'll be back. I don't want to train now just because I don't want to tease myself, because I know my personality. If I like it, I'm gonna want it, So then I told him, look, I want to get my black. I just blurred out my goals. I want to get a black belt. I want to be in the UFC. I want to be a world champion. I want to be a champion, And he was like, all right, you want to train? I was like, no, not today. I'll be back in September. So then September came. I got released. September came. And then I didn't go to the gym right away. It's how they say, your success is people are afraid of success, so I was hesitant. I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I was hesitant of taking that first step. And then at the same time, I was still halfway on the line of football, right? So then I went. So then what concreted that decision of me going full board with martial arts and jiu-jitsu was my football coach. It was my senior year. Well, it was my second senior year, and then I went to my football coach and I was like, hey man, can I play varsity for my last senior year? I'll take care of my grades. I was in this program. I brought my GPA up, and can I play? Can I just play? And then he was like, I don't know about you playing. You have a history, but you could practice on the team. I was like, dude, who the hell wants to practice on the team but not playing the game? The reason why we play is just to be in that spotlight and play in the game and perform. So then, right then and there, I knew football wasn't for me no more. And then from that next day, yeah, I went over to the jiu-jitsu school, signed up, and it's been training ever since. So I started off as jiu-jitsu with the intent in mind that I want to fight MMA and become a champion. And then from there, I had my ups and downs where, well, the good thing was that that I saw that was changing my life was that from training martial arts, that my circle of friends got smaller. A majority of my friends weren't my age. They were professionals. They were adults. They went ranging from like 23 to 40 years old. So then my frame of mind just started changing. I started maturing faster. And even people from my school was like, dude, you're a totally different person. Like, you don't hang out. All you do is just talk about this jiu-jitsu stuff. You're always training. I see you walking down Park Street, going across the bridge with your duffel bag. And then too, it's just, and then like, I think too, just from being around a more mature atmosphere and a positive vibe, I was able to bring that into my studies and into my schoolwork, and I graduated with like a 3.2, which was, man, the highest I did it, and it was just basically because I applied myself, and then it's like, so I took that same energy that I took in training, applied myself to school. And then that's when it clicked, like, this is my life. Like, being a martial artist is my life. It's like, if I could apply that same mentality and same focus to school, then I could apply it to life. And then just from there, I just carry that same mentality and same focus and dedication towards my MMA career now. So it's like I got all my belts from Sergio. I received my black belt last year, July 12th from Sergio. I believe so, yeah. And then, once this gym opened up, which it was closer to my house, I, talked to Sergio and told him that, hey man, I want to do MMA, and, there's a gym that's by my house, I'm gonna leave the school and then pursue MMA full time, and then just currently, I would say about a year ago, I fully committed my life to my MMA career, meaning that I quit my day job, and then so now I'm just trained. I'm a full-time fighter, living the dream, and just making it happen. So I have a jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, background in jiu-jitsu. Once I started doing jiu-jitsu, about like 6 months into my jiu-jitsu training, I started doing boxing. Learned a ton of boxing, good boxing at King's. I also learned at Pacific Ring Sport with D. Pooler. And then from there, I was commuting to San Mateo at B Street Boxing with Eddie Croft. And then I also learned a ton of good boxing at Undisputed Boxing with Michael Basil and Brian Schwartz. Oh yeah, and then from there, And then two, I wrestled one season at Chabot College. Got to did Muay Thai and kickboxing at Pacific Ring, and then also spent a good amount of time spending at Maish Striking Arts over in San Leandro with Ivan, and then the MMA training like was with Darren Yuanayama at FTCC is where I got exposed to like good MMA training, or how MMA training is, at the high level. And then now it's just a blessing that I don't have to commute as much. And then it's here in Albany with Tyson Griffin at Performance Fitness and MMA. So it's like, I think I paid my dues traveling and commuting all over across the Bay Area, to where now it's like 10 minutes from my house. So that's like my martial arts career there. One, I would say Demetrius Johnson. It's one of my favorite fighters. Tyson Griffin. He was one of my favorite fighters coming up. The Diaz brothers, Darren Yuanayama. Those are just MMA fighters. Like boxers, Bruno Escalante, Andre Ward. Man, I could go on and on, but I'm saying that's like, those are like those guys those are the fighters that like I've watched and try to model. Oh yeah, Marcelo Garcia, one of my favorite jiu-jitsu fighters. But those are the guys like I've looked coming up, and modeled my fighting style too, like took stuff from them, and then also look to them as a mentor, whether it's Tyson, Darren, Bruno, and and the other guys I haven't trained with, but I look at them and see their mindset and how they train and their philosophies, as well as their techniques too, and how they apply their game towards fighting and competition. The main goal is to become a world champion, to fight for the UFC, get the title. That's probably the top of my goals. There is just to become a world champion, fight in the UFC and become the world champion at 125 pounds. And then what's gonna get me there? It's gonna be, one is to establish myself as a top fighter in the Bay Area, within this local circuit, and then start making noise nationally and internationally, and then get signed to a big promotion, and then from there, see what happens. But it's the small steps and little goals. So I'm half Filipino. My mom's Filipino, and then my dad's black. I'm definitely proud to be a Filipino. Just because the culture, and Filipinos unite when it's all day every day. Filipinos unite, whether it's we don't even have to know each other. It's just like, oh, you're Filipino, yeah, I'm Filipino too. Oh man, brother by bond, brother, just brother or sister, kuya, ate, all that stuff, and then too, and just just that, and just how I was raised, from on my mom's side, I was taught like to respect everyone, respect your elders, and then two, don't let your family down, and like just be family oriented, and so to the fans and everyone that's been helping me, man, a huge thank you. I probably couldn't have done it without your support, family, friends, everything, all the words of encouragement, the phone calls I get from friends where they're down and they look for me for mentoring, where I call my friends and look for them for guidance and mentoring. So they played a huge role into this part to where I'm at in my life today, you know. And then to the future fans, yeah, you could hit me. You could find me on Facebook. It's my name, Derrick Easterling. That's DERRICK Easterling, EASTERLING. And then my Instagram is DE_Easterling. Same thing for Twitter. And yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, and shout out to my sponsors, Fusion International, Seven Salon, Rockridge and Alameda salons, OVO, that's Oakland's very own Tavern and Eatery, Cream Team the Barber, and GFY, Half Breed Clothing, and that's it. PFMMA, Team Easterling, let's go.